Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we are here in West Hill on the Citadel Minecraft server, hanging out underneath the keep. And we're going to pick up where we left off the last stream, where we were here on the server. And we're going to do some work on the marsh that's hanging outside of the front gate. It's a lot bigger than the last marsh that we made, so it's taking a long time. But I think we can make some headway today. This is what's happening. We've got this low-lying wetland here at the base of the curtain wall, and it will eventually have a little waterfall slash drain down into the West River. Obviously, that's not done yet. So we're just gonna pick up where we left off with the muddy mangrove roots and all of that stuff. And for anybody that's new or maybe watching this later on YouTube, I'm only 10 YouTube subscribers away from a full 1,000 subscribers, which means I can start to earn some advertising revenue on YouTube. So if you're watching this later, by all means, hit subscribe. It's free. Helps me out a great deal. And this is what we're going for. This is the eventual end result of what we've been working on. And weirdly, the moss carpet doesn't look all that good with shaders on. It looks kind of like it's floating. But when you turn shaders off, it actually looks pretty good. I wish I could play with shaders all the time. And we're just going to stock up on the old inventory. I think we're doing pretty well. Need some extra mud. We may have to get some extra mangrove roots today, which wouldn't be a bad break. I find that the last stream got kind of old quickly, but it would be a good break, I think, to go get some of those. So use those, mud, and I probably won't use much of the dark oak. GrandpaCrafter, good to see you. McScrewgunn, hello. And Dosage, it's been a minute. Hope you're having a good day. Cosmic, good to see you as always. So here, as I was talking about on the Spun Chunks podcast this week, what I find the easiest way to approach this is to focus on the negative areas. So the shapes of the water versus the shapes of the mud that you're putting down. And that seems to work out the best. And then I basically come back through and exchange some of these for more interesting pieces. For example, I think we could maybe do something here. And it all just slowly comes together. Fingers crossed. Sometimes there's bigger spots. You kind of have to move things around a bit. See, I don't want to repeat that pattern there, so I'll probably change this to that. So that's it. That's the process. You just rinse and repeat. Greasy Casual. Hey Joel, a little off topic, but wondering what your thoughts are on Foundation. Was thinking of watching it, but not sure yet. You mean the Foundation Apple Sci-Fi show? We talked a little bit about it on the render distance on the spawn chunks. I fell off of it. I just found it too weird. And they don't do a very good job of communicating time passing versus how time affects people, you know, like cryo sleep and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like one of the things that came up when Johnny and I were discussing it was that they very often seem to move the goalpost. So just when you think there's a plot resolution coming, something happens and like the thing that you thought that they were solving is no longer solvable, or there becomes yet another time-ending, universe-crunching disaster, and you're just like, I don't care anymore, because if everything is the end of the world, then nothing is important, you know? So I fell off of it. That's not to say that it might not be good for other people. Every once in a while, I just kind of step back and look to make sure I've not done anything too repetitive. I've been watching For All Mankind. I was just talking with a friend about it last night, and I like it. It's very well made. And it presents itself as a very uplifting, sort of like looking to the future space travel sort of show. But the things that the characters go through, it's hard. And you have to watch characters you both like and dislike going through hard stuff. I'm not always in the mood for that. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit... It's not dramatic, because it's not... The drama is not manufactured or shallow, you know, so it's not a drama in the way like a soap opera is. It's just, it's heavy, but it's not like end of the world heavy. It's just can be a little bit much. Oops. I feel like I'm making this more dense than I was last time. The disadvantage of not doing it all at one go. No, I guess it looks all right. It looks about the same. We are very close to being out of muddy mangrove roots, though. See where you're coming from, and I'll check it out, but we'll see if I stick with it because of the whole flip-flop stuff really throws me off. Yeah, you might run into that with Foundation. Give For All Mankind a go. I'm trying to think about other series that I've been watching, but I haven't really been loving most of what I've been seeing. So I have a hard time recommending things. Like, I didn't really enjoy Loki. I wanted to. Loki was, what, 2 seasons, probably 12 episodes? It could have been a 6-episode miniseries. I liked where they went with it. Like, I liked the end result of Loki. The finale was fine. But the season 2 of getting to the finale took 4 freaking ever. Really found it long in the tooth. I noticed on the snapshot yesterday that you can now waterlog copper grates. That's pretty cool. I'm only just realizing that these have root systems inside of them. I didn't know that they had a crisscross in there. That's cool. Nope. Trying to spread out these roots a little bit. feel like I've been doing them a little bit more frequently, but I guess this is like the first pass. Putting them in the middle like that will help it feel a little bit more waterlogged too. Couple of patterns here that I'm looking at and not liking. Try to break that up a bit. And I'm really not thinking too hard about this. I'm just trying not to have the mud too close together. Trying not to do anything that's too much of a pattern or have it too evenly spread out. I find it easier to do this after the fact than I do during the placement of the pattern. It's easier to come back in and place some stuff a little bit later. Glowwatts, hello. How you been? Always good to see you. Thanks for coming to check out the progress. I don't remember where we started, but it was I think it was roughly there. There's a couple of screenshots on Twitter, but it's not going to take too long. We'll probably get this section done today on stream, although I am going to have to go get more mangrove stuff because we're getting real low. I have to say, as far as the process goes, I much prefer the running around and swapping out roots and mud for this process. I prefer the texturing over the layout nature of this, I guess. Time to sleep. Yeah, there's going to be a road trip. There is going to be a road trip. Thankfully, as we go farther to the right here, this is getting more and more narrow, so it'll take less time to fill in. Oops. Oh, we're out. Okay. So we will need to bring... that's mangrove roots, and that's mud. So we've got lots of mud. I'll bring this anyway. So that's coming with. This is coming with. We'll need some food. Don't think we'll need the coarse dirt. I'll bring the scaffolding. Why not? I will remember to bring my sword and my bow. I guess I should bring this whole shulker box, shouldn't I? Maybe we'll get some moss along the way. Yeah, I should probably bring this. But first, bed. All right, well, we got a little bit more done. So now we need to go back to the mangrove swamp and get some goodies. Do you plan to make it more sparse towards the waterfall part? Maybe. Yeah, it's just a little bit. It'll probably be a different nature compared to the other one, but yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Something I've thought about before is getting like a toggle, like a mod that might toggle walk forward, because it could free up my hand to do other things, like adjust my chair or microphone stand. Jay Chris, welcome in. Good to see you. So weirdly, I'm getting like a lot of frame setters today, and I double checked that things are not running in the background, and I was having that problem with Satisfactory yesterday, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm gonna go talk to somebody, I think locally, about buying a new computer. Getting one from a shop that's like put together and meant to be, you know, all work together. The nice video cards are still really expensive. And so if I was going to drop, you know, $1,400 on a new video card, I might as well just go the extra mile and get a whole new system. And if anybody is in the know in the chat, my computer specs are in the About page. And I've got a Core i7, I think. I thought it was 9.9, but I guess I've got an i7. And I just, I don't know how that stacks up against new processors. So like, I guess I should go with a whole new computer. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to just check. Where's my system information? Asus motherboard, it's a Z370, that's correct. 32 gigs of RAM. Processor, Core i7 9700, that's what it is. Core i7 9700. Yeah, physical memory is 32. Well, and the graphics card is... Where did that go? I actually don't know. It's a GeForce 1660, I think. McScrewgunn says, I've been thinking over a new computer as well. I can highly recommend the Minipax consulting service. Yeah. Yeah. Minipax and I were talking about troubleshooting this current machine. That's not good. You're not supposed to spawn out here. I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to let Alistair know. He was looking into fixing it. Was it 33 minutes into the stream? Start paying Minipax a wage. Not a bad idea. Oh, do I have any speed? I should get some speed potions. This will make this trip a lot faster. I mean, I could fly it, but it's more fun to run it. I feel like one potion should get us there. So we'll grab 2. One for the way back. McScrewgunn says that is a 5th generation old i7. The graphics card is probably anemic by today's standards. Those two things stand out right away. Still should be more than enough to run Minecraft well enough. Although you could be taxing it, do the other things you're doing while streaming. It's probably the streaming that's taxing the processor, I agree. That would be what I think. Because I upgraded the processor. The processor I started off with was not an i7. I think it was an i5. Are they really that outdated already? The computer's not that old. JPrice says, looked at your machine hardware. Is the problem general age, or are you looking to update older hardware? How old is your machine? Machine is less than 5 years old. The only thing I really do on it is gaming and streaming. I do all my production for podcasting on my Mac, but man, my Mac is slow. I don't know what's going on with it. Adobe is just absolute garbage on it now. Photoshop barely runs. It's like you get delays trying to type into text windows. It's brutal. So I've actually been thinking about getting off of Adobe altogether and just no longer paying them for the suite and just getting some alternatives like DaVinci and other stuff. Yeah, oh, it's infuriating that I'm paying $80 a month for access to all the Adobe suites and I can't even run them on it. My Mac is a 2017, but it's got a Fusion drive, which should be fast, but is not as fast as Apple advertised. I've got a project for Steven. Stairs required. The old creepy swamp. Currently, the age of a computer generation is something like 12 to 18 months. So 5 years, you're well out of date. Usually pretty well with getting last year's model, and those last me a pretty long time. So if you get last year's model, then you're getting a computer that's already 12 to 18 months out of date. Right? Did I miss the memo? Nope, just too far to the west. Right, we've got mud, mangrove roots. I did not bring my mangrove wood box, I don't think. No. That's right, I'm mostly here for the roots anyway. Speaking of, get some of this too. Guess I could turn off shaders. That's easier on the ice. I guess I could turn a lot of this mud into mud bricks too. I would say 6 to 12 months old, so about to go out of date. The problem is that current models usually get fleeced for pricing. Right. Something like 15 to 2500 US. The last year's models are usually half that price. Right. So that's what I might be looking at. And I have the advantage of having a Canada Computers outlet here in Halifax. And Alistair and I were going to go. So I'll be able to like talk to somebody there maybe. I'm not sure. I'll probably go after speaking with Minipax if he's willing to, they're willing to chat and fill me in on what I might need. I definitely would like to upgrade to the point where I have an RTX card. But I don't know whether I should go with, you know, like a 40 or a 30. Generally speaking, I think if you go with the 3080 or the 4080, like the ones that end in 80 seem to be the better cards. I mean, I gotta remember that most of the time I'm playing Minecraft. I do really like Satisfactory, and I want to play other games that are that kind of fidelity, so it would be nice to have that option. Good old elytra in water. I never thought to check to see whether I needed any leaves or any vines. I know Alistair had a vine farm that probably no longer works because we've changed the way that vines grow in the server, but I mean, really, you don't need a vine farm anymore. You just come to a mangrove swamp and just harvest. It's probably faster. Minus the trip, I guess. I don't think these drop. 1, 2, 3. No, it's just 1. It's not like bamboo and other stuff. Minipacks has just helped Hunter with a new PC. I think separate parts Hunter put together, picked with the help of Minipacks. So that's the one thing I don't want to do. Because I feel like while you save money, what happens later on, if something goes wrong, if one of those parts doesn't work right, or if they don't work right together because I didn't do my research, or something just wasn't thought of, or a driver changes, then you've got no one to turn to. Whereas if you buy it from a shop, the time it's going to save me is going to be worth the extra money of buying something from a shop. And I talked to Ryan Murphy, and he said that Canada Computers is pretty well regarded with his gamer friends. So if a bunch of folks like that are saying like, yeah, Canada Computers is fine. I think they said that essentially if you wanted to do like a really super duper custom job, do it yourself. But if you want something that's good enough, then something like Canada Computers should be fine. Old player raiding with a party of 13. Welcome in. Hope everyone's having a good day. So I'm going to put these over here. Mud, we're already well on our way. Probably going to end up with more mud than I know what to do with. Some of this stuff I should just leave. I want to keep those. So, everyone coming in from the old player raid, welcome in. Any advertisements that had played have probably finished. My name is Joel Duggan, if you haven't figured that out already. I do the Spawn Chunks podcast with Pixel Riffs and the Citadel Cafe podcast with myself and some friends. And we play here on the Citadel SMP server, working on West Hill. Currently, we're gathering some muddy mangrove roots for a swamp / marsh that we're building out in front of the town. And we've been working on it for about 3 years. So if you stick around, you'll see some cool stuff, I hope. Old player, what were you up to on stream? And thanks again for sharing the raid. I know that very often people have to raid and run if you've got to go do some things and take care of whatever. Feed yourself, all that good stuff. No worries. We will look after the crew. Doing great, says Old Player. Had a great stream. Got up to about 25 viewers today. Good stuff. That's amazing. Server's name is the Citadel. It's in the name of the video. Why I put it there. I feel bad just completely de-trunking these trees and leaving them, but they're such a pain to harvest everything. This one looks like it's pretty easy. Man, the mud goes down like 3 or 4 layers sometimes. We are making an absolute mess of this place. I seem to remember this, that the real opportunity to get some roots is when the trees are over water, because then the roots are much longer. Keep trying to hover over stuff on your computer screen to see what certain blocks are. Nice. I've had that happen when I play like a lot of a certain video game. I find that like my inner brain monologue is thinking like the UI in the game. It's pretty funny. You go to cook something and you're thinking about like, how do I craft that? Like, wait a minute, I've been playing too much Minecraft. I need a break. It's really dark down here. Trying to make sure I don't leave anything to despawn on the surface, but it's hard to see. Some fish? These look like tropical fish. I guess this would be a warm ocean, wouldn't it? Mangrove swamp. Or maybe they just spawn in mangrove swamps? I guess it would be a warm biome. It makes sense. So this is as slow going as I remember it being. I'm gonna get a few stacks. Let's craft some mud together. I feel like 6 stacks should probably do us. I've got 6 stacks of the roots, that is. The muddy mangrove roots. But I'll get some extra roots just to be safe. They're almost there. Really close. I guess what I could do is bring back an extra row of mud. This tree was out in the middle of nowhere, and I remember it having some beefy roots. Looks like we got them all. Weirdly, it's still hanging up there, so there must be some mangrove wood hanging up in its leaves somewhere. Saw one somewhere. Oh, right. It would almost be worth it to bring, like, to use water breathing potions and just come in here and just take everything from underwater. I'll have to remember that if I ever do like a new playthrough and you want to quickly gather some stuff in a mangrove swamp as you walk by it, you know? I don't think I'd ever want to build a base in the mangrove swamp. They're pretty dark. I'd imagine it'd be very challenging early game. I mean, I guess good if that's what you want, if you're looking for a challenge. Yeah, I know Alistair was wanting to get mangrove wood, and he finds it really tedious to gather the wood. And I agree. I think that's one of the reasons you don't see it used that much. It's just such a pain. I think, honestly, the most effective way would be, you know, loading up like a big TNT dropper machine, making a pass, and then going back and collecting everything. Because at least the leaves would blow up very easily. I've not bothered to look it up on YouTube to say, like, you know, what's the most efficient way of harvesting mangrove. It is really cool to see all the fish. I think that adds a lot of life. Very similar to how bees add a lot of life to the landscape when you come across bees flying around. If I was to ever do my own, like, mod that would add a mob, I would totally add, like, butterflies or something like that that flew around just to kind of add some ambience, you know? Bees. Yeah. Yeah, I do like bees. I don't, I haven't done much with them. We've got a lot, actually, in West Hill. There's going to be an apiary farm. Well, it's kind of a redundant sentence, but there's going to be an apiary in West Hill. I just haven't got that far yet. All right, let's see how we did. Well, there's our stack, our 6th stack. Plus a little extra. It's still not quite what I want. I think that should be enough. So we'll call that done. Then we'll head back. Have that. Chunk Purse, hello, welcome in. Good to see you. Birds could be cute when flying around with Elytra. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I think the problem with birds is that because they're like what they are, people would expect them to have more AI than might be worth putting in. Sunrise over the swamp. And I think that's it right there. Coming on a break. We're going to do that when I get back to West Hill. That way the folks that came in with Old Players Raid will get to see a little bit more of the server. I think I might have gone past it. Yep. Last podcast was a banger. You mean the Spawn Chunks? I really had a good time on the any blocks? Really had a good time on the last episode of the Citadel Cafe as well. Yeah, the nether portal for the mangrove swamp is really tricky. There's no building established there, right? It's just a straight up portal and people gathering stuff. What I think we should do is move the portal. We'll make another portal maybe to the north so that when you come out, like you're right where we harvest everything. That's probably a better idea. That way we can have like a, if you want to make a base portal and if you want to just cut down trees portal. Oh, JPrice, I normally don't throw anything away either. I just didn't have enough room in my shulker boxes. And the result of not throwing anything away for like 6 years means I basically have a ton of stuff. So it sounds like a new computer is definitely what I need to do in order to get a little bit more performance out of this. Out of, you know, my experience here. I think I would keep this computer and maybe change out the video card so that I could use this as a streaming computer. So that the computer I'd be playing the game on, the only thing it would be doing would be just the game. And then this computer would be the streaming device. But I don't know whether that would overcomplicate things. I'll have to see. Realized that today is your 5-year anniversary on Citadel. Really? That's awesome. So for folks coming in and wondering, this is the area on the server that is designated as the medieval fantasy zone. And you come in through this little fort out here in the field. And then there's a path that I've made that takes you to my build, which is West Hill. And this whole zone is all meant to be medieval fantasies. Like, so I'm building down here, but people can build like wherever. There's some cool mountain ranges. I should say that they're not mountain ranges. Not in the same way that 118 is mountain ranges, but they are definitely some cool rocky terrain near the ocean. Home sweet home. Oh, and we're out of gas. Also still have trouble with roads and paths and making them meander a bit. Just build from place to place in a straight line. For me, the trick and a real big advantage was using a map mod. So we've got a few quality of life mods on the server, and one of those is the mini map and the main map. Roots, mud goes there. And can put a few things away. I feel like I've got space for that somewhere. And I should have those as well. And I think the only thing, put those away. Keep that. Do I have stone out here? Don't. Cool. Do shears make you able to get vines? Yeah. Yeah, use shears on vines. We've also got the vine growth turned off on the server so that we can decorate with vines and not have them take over the entire build. So vine farms per se are not good, but like I said, we've got the mangrove swamp, so we can get vines that way. So everybody that's new to my stream, I take a break once an hour. Gives me a chance to get another glass of water. Gives you a chance to grab a break, grab a stretch, maybe even grab a friend. Let them know that we're streaming, and I will be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. All right, a little bit of a sleep and then back to work. Kiwi be good. Welcome in. Blast Jordan, good to see you. So for the conversation we were having earlier with regards to new computers and video cards and all that kind of stuff, what would people be getting? Like, what if you were to get a new computer now? Like, what kind of processor would you aim for? As an example, I think we were talking about like potentially getting something that's about a year old. In that way, you know what? I honestly don't care about that or these. Core i7 14th gen. So why do they call it Core i7 if it's just wouldn't it be easier to just call it a new name and say this is the new one? Core i7 just seems like it's all I ever hear. SweetSandi, whatever your husband suggests. Yeah, that's fair. That's what I mean, Tech Dog. Some sort of i7, right? But like, I think that there needs to be a real branding shift to make computers more accessible. Oh, maybe not there. Usually aim for a generation below the newest because that tends to be where the price performance is best. CryptoCat, yeah, we were discussing about that earlier. Usually stick with an i7 that can be overclocked if desired. For that, you'd have to take it up with Intel, as I understand it. Might be changing the name ish in some fashion. Yeah, maybe. So basically, it sounds like you get not the latest processor, but maybe the second to latest processor. So again, same with video cards. I don't even know what the latest video card is. Is that the 4080? The one that flashes the most at the store. Yeah. 4090 would be the flagship card right now, but you'd have to sell a kidney for it. Yeah, so I wouldn't need that. Like I said, I'd like to be able to play Minecraft with shaders. I'd like to be able to play Satisfactory with Lumen and have it look good. All that stuff. Oh, that's weird. What card do you have at the moment? It is a 1660 GTX. It's all in the About page. If you happen to miss that part of the conversation on Twitch. All right. We're getting close. This was only half done when we first started the stream. I do see one issue. I don't remember how I did the edges. I feel like I'm doing the edges differently. I think it would make sense to wait for NVIDIA's 5000 series to come out. Maybe some older cards will be cheaper. Just DM'd you the build that PAX helped Hunter with. Might not be exactly what you want, but it might give you some ideas. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I also got a budget, right? Like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. But I'm starting to feel like my experience is not what it could be and my streams are not what they could be. Because a lot of times I will stop streaming early because I've got a headache or whatever because of the strobing and stuff like that. The good news is I don't need a new monitor. Like, I'm really happy with my monitor. An Acer 277U or something. 1440, 75 hertz. It's fine. No complaints. If I got a new monitor, then this just would become my secondary monitor, but I don't need a new monitor. And I don't need new peripherals either. Keyboard, mouse, Stream Deck, very happy with all of that. So it looks like I was going pretty close to the edge with some of this stuff. Okay. A little bit more water on that side. Here's a good example of a road that's straight, but meanders a little bit. So it could go straight, but I've just kind of like made a little curve in it. And that's all it takes to keep the roads a little bit more interesting. Just because you have a budget for it doesn't mean that you need to spend all the budget on the computer. No, I know that. What I mean by a budget means that I have a limit that I'm willing to spend on a computer. It's also a business expense, which is fine. Your monitor is a 60-inch flat screen? Nice. My TV in my living room is 55. The TCL. That's new, just a couple of years ago. It does 4K, but I don't think it does 4K at 720. So, but my Xbox stuff looks good. Forza looks fantastic. No complaints there. Yeah, I'd say it's roughly around $2,000 for a budget at most. I don't want to spend that, but that would be something would have to be a screaming hot deal for me to spend all of it, but I would say I wouldn't mind spending. I think I spent probably a grand total of like $1,100 or $1,300 on this when it was new for all the parts and everything else, all said and done. Now I bought it through a friend, similar to what McScrewgunn was saying. My friend John helped me with the parts. It's kind of a hobby for him, so he really enjoyed it. And he put it together for me. I probably could have figured it out, but it was just easier to let a friend who knows what they're doing take care of it. So, as I get closer to this edge here, I do think I want to get a little bit more sparse so it looks like the water is flowing a little bit heavier. Here you can get a great system for 1,000 to 2,000, so it would say that you're being very realistic. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, it's thinned out a little bit here, but I think I want to do it a little bit maybe more obviously on the other side. Slightly bigger, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks together. The 4060 is a relatively good deal. Good to know. All right, so there might be more rocks and things. We'll measure this kind of on its own, but I'm going to do something like this. Actually, I don't think I want to do that kind of a thing. So see how it starts to feel a little bit more spread out. And then if we connect this in the same way we were doing stuff before, I think if we bring this across here, try to get a few more bits in this side too. So this is where I've not done this type of marsh before. Voldare with 101 bits. Thanks ever so much. Because you need some love when working on a marsh all week. Well, I haven't really been back to this since last weekend, but I appreciate it. It's definitely a lot of looking at the ground. A lot of looking at the ground, but we're almost done. Like we've almost got a full pass. I shouldn't say done, but we're almost finished a first pass on the whole thing, which is nice. I feel like I've gone the opposite of making it less dense in places and I've made it more dense. And I really don't know what's happening here. This feels like I'm going to have to figure out something unique in that area. So close. I think that's the first pass done. That sort of looks like it spreads out a bit. And we still had some roots to spare. We used up a good 2/3 of what we gathered though, so I'm glad that we grabbed as much as we did. Delman, damn, welcome back. Good to see you. Sorry, I've got a squeaky mic stand today. Hopefully that doesn't echo all the way through the arm. Yeah, I'd say I could maybe pull a bit from here. Hmm. I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I think it sort of looks like it would potentially be. Whoop, cancel. Nope. Keep on meaning to do the wrong thing. I use the wrong mouse button to slide things around. So I think what I want to do now is I'm going to grab some rocks and do like a temporary waterfall, I guess. Kind of want to see how this comes together. I'm gonna need some regular stone. I don't think we're gonna need these right now. That was not graceful. Andesite, stone. And don't think we need those. Should be good. These back here. Cosmic Dancer, thank you for being awesome. And I guess what we'll do, I should go look at the other one. Well, the other one snaked around. It was just like a little stream. Right. Some mossy cobble would be needed as well. Didn't hear it? Right on. That's good. No squeaks in earbuds? Perfect. Right, so this is probably going to end up being like a rock. So this whole thing will probably curve this way. So it's going to curve probably this and then come down that way. So out and empty it out into this here. So something like that. Something like that. The trick is going to be get it to kind of curve this way. And this is where the grass is probably going to have to come up a bit. Wouldn't mind having something like a little muddy piece in the middle here. Everything to go around. And then maybe come down there. These things are always hard to do. And I need some coarse dirt. Kiwi be good. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Glad to have you along. Coarse dirt. Delicious donut. This is a marsh outside the main wall. And I think now we can get rid of probably the bushes and these. May have to push that back a bit. Yeah, I think we have to push back the water sources so that the water is running lower. Not bad for a first crack. It's not bad. I want to... guess we'll use mossy cobble just because it's easy to see. That seems to be okay. And then if we remove the cobble, this should be better flow. Very dark though. Yeah, the water mechanics are tricky. The thing I find is that you have to start with more than what you need and then use blocks to kind of shave it back, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty good, except for obviously these are too tall. So this kind of stuff you'd want to have as maybe like, oops, something like that. And then sometimes it just doesn't make any sense at all. So it's not really doing the sneaky bit that I was hoping it would do, but at least it's funneling down. We probably have to reshape this rock a bit. Seems kind of pointy here. I feel like this would be wider. I feel like this would be something there too. And this is where just a lot of trial and error comes in. So you start to mess with stuff like that, and over time, it eventually starts to look a little bit more natural. Although I feel like this should probably be coming more this direction. And down here, you always want to fill it in so it looks like it's flowing in the right direction. Will definitely take some time to get right. Oh, I didn't bring any roots. You don't like the water flow is so blocky, but it's Minecraft, so you deal with it. Yeah, that's fair. And azalea leaves. See here now, this feels really square, but we can come in here with some roots and leaves and try to make it look a little bit nicer. That's not what I wanted to do. So trying to get some sort of flow of blocks to kind of make things look like it's heading in this direction. I feel like we need to widen this part at the top here. But if I get rid of that, I guess maybe I have to just build this up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Crap. Yeah, I feel like this needs to come back in. So this rock probably has to be redone to come up higher. And that didn't fix it. Nope. This is definitely one of those things where you benefit from being higher up when you can. EMP. Being a minute, thanks very much for the Prime sub. 10 months. That's amazing. Appreciate the support. It sounds great. There we go. That's not too bad. I mean, looking at the shape of the water, this obviously needs a lot of work. I really don't know what to do with this section here. I'm tempted to create like a little retaining wall or something, but I don't know what it would be used for. Like there'd be no access. It has been a minute, says EMP. Been busy at work. Apparently watching streams during a Zoom meeting is frowned upon. I won't tell if you won't tell. I won't tell if you won't tell. It's not bad for first crack. I can fix that a little bit. No, a tree in front of the wall of Voldare wouldn't make a lot of sense. It would just give people something to climb. Yeah, I guess I could create the more marsh. Like I could curve it a little bit in the same way that over here I made like it was this kind of round shape, and I added this like more bean shape to it to make it more irregular. I could curve it around like this as well. Maybe it'll have two waterfalls. Maybe I can have it drain over here as well. And then just make this into something like bushes and stuff. Have it over this way. You know, like that kind of stuff in between. I don't think I want to do a cliff. It would make sense, I guess, if it was rocky. Yeah, like if this was more rock there, what would that look like? Oops. Still a cave entrance here too. Think about. So that whole section was stone. Then we could have maybe another drain coming off this way. No, Cosmic, I have to run. We'll be wrapping things up shortly. I kind of have, where I've got this idea, I kind of want to at least poke at it and see what it might look like. Two. It's too far. That might work. I really like the texture of this bridge. Yeah, I could even go as far as the actual rock here. So I've just created more swamp for myself to do. So imagine if we added on a little section like this. To the swamp, that could work. If we curved this a little bit better. This would be really great if we had an opportunity to do like cattails or something. Right? Like I feel like that would be a good thing to have in here. Just want to turn it into coarse dirt so it looks the part. We're just the right speed for mining where you can just kind of constantly go around in circles. They'll get everything. No coal ore left behind. Man, if you were just starting out, that's a nice little chunk of coal. Oh, more dirt. Oh, no room. No coal left behind or on the server. It's all in Joel's shulker box. That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I think having that rock behind there would help make it look like the wall's got something sturdy to stand on too. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that will work. Whoops. We can obviously play with the edge a little bit more. See how that looks from the road too. Might help that we've got it going all the way to the edge now. Yeah, that's pretty good. And just imagine that gray area there cropping up and being higher. So what you're seeing here with like rubble would actually be like probably a piece of cliff that would stick out like that. Maybe we'll do the same thing there. Obviously, this green line here is going to go. Could probably get rid of that now. That was the fastest thing I've ever seen you do in Minecraft. Filling that pond. A lot of practice. We had to do this entire thing. So we'll extend the marsh bits over there, that pattern, and we'll address the bottom, obviously, there. I don't know if I want to do a second stream. I guess we could. There could be more water that come down over this way, maybe. What happened there? I don't know whether that's going to make sense or not. Easy enough to fill back in if we don't like it. That might be okay. Should look at this from another perspective too. Can't really see a whole lot. There's a bridge that goes over this way. Minus all the data pack garbage. Gotta fix that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know about the second stream. This might have enough going on with like bushes and cliff here. The cliff could even be a little bit bigger maybe. But I like that idea of bringing a rock face out that way. We could also widen the river. And I think if this was bushes, like a lot thicker, I think that would help. Yep. Okay. Maybe we'll do some sort of like overgrowth or thicket or something. Very cool. Yeah. I think that's coming along. I think that is coming along. We are going to toss y'all along to... Who's streaming? Let's go with Tadpole Milk is doing Hardcore Friday, or we can do Scotsman UK. Scotsman UK rated us the other day. Let's do Scotsman UK. As long as they're not about to wrap it up, then it should be good. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic. That's Saturday, UTC minus 4 hours. More Minecraft. We'll be working on this again, and it is going to be a stormy, disgusting day here in Dartmouth. So I will probably do a double header. We're probably going to be doing some Satisfactory tomorrow after Minecraft, but we will be starting with Minecraft at 1 o'clock tomorrow. You can listen to the Spawn Chunks podcast on really Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you want to listen to a podcast. You can check out the Citadel Cafe, all the same places. It is another podcast I do. They're both free. You can check them out whenever you want. You can be sure to follow on social media. Joel Duggan, very easy to find. And last but not least, Patreon. If you would like to help me do this more often, check out Patreon. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can help me continue to stream and make more content for everyone. And if you've missed some content, the VOD channel, YouTube VODs, I keep on meaning to mention this. We are very, very, very close to 1,000 subs on the VOD channel, and that would mean that I'll be able to start putting in a little bit of ad revenue on that channel. So I would very much appreciate if you shared that around. Let folks know that they can watch this entire build block for block if you want to, and it's all on YouTube. I will see folks tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye for now.